I will say this, after watching it, sitting here for a few days, getting to be in my own thoughts, looking at the stat sheet right after the game. I was on radio right after the game. This game is almost identical to last year's. It's weird. It's a spitting image. It's a spitting image, dude.
The biggest difference is going on the road to Morgantown, hostile environment. From a macro look, seeing every other squad kind of struggle slightly against lesser opponents, it makes it feel like, okay, we're about our business. More so than, although the game was identical, I think coming out with a major delay, 2.5 hour delay as well, not skipping a beat, getting right to it, as if the game never paused, making the adjustments. I think that's where I see the difference. The more, I guess, the maturity over and all. I would like to believe that this squad is more mature to handle the moments, ignore the noise, and just put the work in and reap the results. I'll say that's what I believe the difference is.
Quarterback sneak right side, touchdown, Penn State!
And this segment's brought to you by Family Clothesline. They kept us looking sharp all weekend. I'm currently wearing one of the Lulu Polos. It's a Family Clothesline exclusive. Make sure you guys check out Family Clothesline for all of your Penn State apparel needs.
Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans, salute to the boys in blue.
Yes, sir.
After that, B-Bell, how you feeling after that?
I'm feeling good. I gotta get a glass of that, but I'm feeling good to cheers with you next time. But shoot, that was a good opening week. Great opening week of football in general. Obviously for the boys in blue, we looked pretty darn good. I think we both talked about it being probably a tougher game than it seemed it was out there. They made their fair share of plays for sure, but I think we proved something opening week. I'll say that for now.
No doubt. And I will say this, Hidden Still Spirits, blue white bourbon. That's what I'm sipping on. Hate to do an ad plug here right away, but
the pocket is back, baby. Come on.
This has been my drink of choice this entire weekend. I am a bourbon guy, and this is fantastic. And for those of you who don't know, Hidden Still has partnered with the NIL collective at Penn State, and a pretty significant percentage of the retail price of this actually gets kicked back to the collective for NIL. So you fans out there, I know we did like this NIL segment all spring. For you fans out there looking to participate in NIL and who like a little bit of bourbon, and it is approved by me. It's a pretty good one for the price point. Solid sipper. You can mix it. You can do whatever, but you can definitely sip this puppy with a stogie. Make sure you guys find it. Look for it. You can order it online. And again, massive kickbacks to the collective with that one. So that's the plug for the day. But I agree with you, B. Just looking at the slate from the first week of college football, man, I was super impressed with the Texas A&M Notre Dame game.
Yeah.
Defense, both of those defenses looked phenomenal. LSU, USC, same thing. The quarterbacks played lights out. Garrett Nussmeier and Miller Moss. But the big question mark for USC is their defense for real?
Right.
Can they come in and rebound from the year they had last year? D'Anthony Lynn, coming over from UCLA, seemed to be able to get some stuff done because they looked really good on both sides of the ball. That was a hell of a football game to watch.
Yeah, for sure. Late night game, texting some of the guys, who's going to pull it out. And some guys chose USC. I had a feeling they were going to kind of fold as we've seen in the past, like you said, with that defense. LSU run game started to get going a little bit, and I was like, okay, we've seen this before. Going to start leaning on these guys. But no, USC stood up, nutted up, put their cleats in the ground and stood up to the boys in the SEC and got it done. And you mentioned Miller Moss. We've seen him last year when Caleb was down or out and wasn't exactly sure what it was going to be. There was talk of getting some transfers in there, but he stepped up and he looks like more than just a replacement, QB guy to get them through a few years. He looks like a guy that can difference maker.
Dude, accurate and on time, man. And they got some guys outside too that can make some plays.
Got some weapons.
Yeah, they replaced some of those guys they lost previous years. Overall, too, the Big Ten looked pretty good. I think Michigan State and took Iowa till the fourth quarter, late in the third on there a little. Overall, the Big Ten looked really, really good. Out of conference play, the whole nine. Adam Brenneman made the comment, Nebraska's schedule plays really well, and I was extremely high on the Dylan Raiola, and dude, he is legit.
I needed to see it this week before putting an opinion out there, but yeah, I'm with you. They have a chance to make some noise this year.
He's legit, man, and they got Colorado coming to town, I think, next week.
Big one.
I bet you Rulli and the Huskers pull that one off.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. They got something going. And as you said, the kid looks legit. They've got some weapons, got a good run game. He's going to be fun to watch the next few years. As you said, the Big Ten, man, I couldn't help, obviously, with the delay in our Penn State, West Virginia game. I was able to get some eyes on a lot of games throughout the day, but I had the YouTube TV quad box going on, keeping an eye on all the Big Ten teams. As you said, Iowa. Honestly, everyone struggled at first a little bit, first game of the year. Ohio State against Akron, our guys, Joe Mo, Naeem, some of the coaches over there, they kind of took a little bit to get going. We can get into that, but Michigan as well, Michigan State, you said everything was tight for a little bit, and eventually they figured it out and got things rolling. But I like the way the Big Ten looks right now.
I agree with you, but you mentioned the Michigan one, man, and the way Texas looked in their opener. Listen, this may be the homer in me, but I think Longhorns might come up there and run them boys out of the stadium.
They're going to do them like that, huh? I'm interested to see what the spread is this week.
Yeah, I am interested to look at that, but I'm bullish on the Longhorns. They've that team, Ewers did it at Alabama last year early.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, he's going to be ready to go. And with the question marks at quarterback for Michigan and kind of the lackadaisical approach up front, replacing a bunch of guys on the line.
And the defense too.
Their defense is going to be good, but I don't know if they're going to be to bottle up Ewers for 4 quarters.
That, exactly. I mean, we saw Fresno State. Those guys, they challenged the Will Johnson, first round cornerback. Everyone's saying, like I said, defense is going to be good, but they weren't as sharp as I thought they were going to come out and be that straight up lockdown, 10 points, 7 points a game. Fresno State came straight at, their top guy. And, I think that bodes well for the rest of the league that, hey, let's take our chances. They're kids just like we are. But it's definitely going to be – I think it's college game day going this week.
Yes.
They're going to be in Ann Arbor?
Yep.
As they should be. As you say, yours and those guys. And honestly, Texas – I find Texas similar to USC, in a sense of like the defense has to step up. I think we believe in Quinn.
Yeah.
Yours in the offense. Is that defense going to make a timely stop, be able to lower their pads, sink their cleats in the dirt, and stand up to the big boys of Michigan, who probably will lean on that run game a little more.
What's crazy to me is their defense played so well last year in some games, and then just did not get off the bus. And when you look at them on paper, they're as talented as anybody.
Yeah.
And they seem to be pretty stout and stifling, and kind of buying into that this year. So. They got off the bus against Bama last year.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it was Jalen Miller. I was still trying to get in the swing of things, but that's gonna be a fun one to watch.
Bama boys look good this week too. Obviously against lesser opponent, but a lot of times a lot of teams struggled against lesser opponents this week to begin this game. At least some teams did not.
Yeah, and I think it's fair to say Clemson is officially done. Miami,
like the reign of Clemson, or just this year? You're saying?
Yeah. I think the reign of Clemson's done.
Ooh, do you think that will adjust? Do you think that will adjust? Obviously, it's probably going to be after the season. Will he have the chance to adjust after the season?
I don't know if he will. I think that's the problem with being as good as he's been. You can't, because he's really been stubborn and ornery about the transfer portal and all these things for the past 2 years. He's had 2 years to make those corrections, and he hasn't done it. And Miami, is Miami looked really, really good. Virginia Tech kind of being the dark horse in the ACC, taking that L to Vanderbilt. Feel bad for my guy Brian Tebow down there.
I know. He's got something. He's got something going down there, and I think he has the confidence in everyone to, give him a chance, build it. Vanderbilt surprisingly looked a lot better than a lot of people thought they would. So kudos to them too. I don't think that was a bad team. End of this year, they're going to find out. Vandy's probably a bowl team. 8-9 wins. Yeah, 8-7 wins.
So 7. Yeah, they're going to get there. The whole SEC, man, it's fun because I think the SEC and the Big Ten, that expansion's proving that there's going to be a lot of really good matchups, and it's going to be good for the game. I think without further ado, man, we pretty much touched on everybody else outside of the country, but the game that everybody was circling as, you better watch out, could be a slip-up. That's going up to Morgantown. I think you and I had a slightly different opinion on that, and we highlighted that last week. But I will say this, after watching it, sitting here for a few days, getting to be in my own thoughts, looking at the stat sheet right after the game. I was on radio right after the game. This game is almost identical to last year's. Spitting image. I think we had there's a 3 or 4 yard difference in total offense. I just feel like as a fandom and as a group of fans, and probably even inside that locker room, it feels a lot like last year felt. How can we prove that it was different, or how was it different in your opinion?
Yeah, I get it. It's hard as a fandom, and this goes into my point of why it could be different. I'll say, we touched on it before of really understanding how to ignore the noise for these group of men right now that are the Penn State football team of 2024. How can you really ignore the noise? I think they did that leading up to this game, as there was a lot of, as we said, hoopla going on about what could happen, what may not happen. Now goes into the next step of, okay, you handled business exactly like you did last year. But now coming up in the next few weeks against, some, we'll say on paper, lesser opponents, can you go out there and
lesser opponents? Because it's smack what happened last year. We rolled right into Delaware and, these layups.
Yeah.
So
I think
weird.
That's the biggest difference.
Spitting image. It's a spitting image, dude.
The biggest difference is going on the road to Morgantown, hostile environment.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are we a young team? I'm not sure what you call it. Starting quarterback Drew is third-year guy, second year starting, new offense.
We're not a young team anymore.
Not a young team? Okay.
I would.
Regardless, going on the road, hostile environment, and handling business like that under those circumstances, and on top, I guess, from a macro look, seeing every other squad kind of struggle slightly against lesser opponents, it makes it feel like, okay, we're about our business. More so than, although the game was identical, I think coming out with a major delay, 2.5 hour delay as well, not skipping a beat, getting right to it, as if the game never paused, making the adjustments. I think that's where I see the difference. The more, I guess, the maturity overall. I would like to believe that this squad is more mature to handle the moments, ignore the noise, and just put the work in and reap the results. I'll say that's what I believe the difference is.
I agree with you. And I think Coach Kaltenecki, it was covered almost to an exhausting manner by the folks calling the game. But I thought he did a really good job of manufacturing multiple explosives, right? I think that's obviously been something that we've talked about, fans have talked about coming off of last year. Part of the reason why Mike Yursich is no longer here. I think it's not even the explosives, right? Because we're going to get explosives this week, similarly to how we did against Delaware. But it's more so how. I thought it was schemed up really well. I thought he used personnel really well. Our receivers, our guy Trey Wallace, Maury Evans. Yeah. Really, we didn't have a lot of other guys we've make an impact in the game from the receiver side other than those two. But you and I talked about
only 18 passes for Drew attempts.
Yeah, but if they stay healthy, I'm telling you, that could be a big difference for us moving forward. And I think the transition into these next couple weeks is who else now starts emerging? Is it Caden Saunders? Yeah. Is it Liam Clifford? Yeah. Do you get Julian Fleming involved a little bit more and see what he can do? And I've been bullish on the tight end room. Tyler Warren had the touchdown catch and a few other touches, but
big fourth down catch.
Yeah. I think getting the young guys going, Andrew Rapplier and Luke Reynolds and a few other guys that have been there and played, seeing how to get those guys involved. But I just thought it looked different offensively. Nick Singleton's back. I think you could say that he's got that burst back. It seems like we talked about that last year.
It's the space. It's the spacing. And I think to your point, what coach is able to manufacture, to me, as you said, the explosive players are going to come. I think that comes with space, creating space for these receivers, when there's times that they don't have to just completely out route a guy or outwork a guy. Within the scheme, the space is created on any given play. And I think that's why, like I said, any given week, it could be a Liam. It could be Mari Evans, whoever is lined up in a position that I believe the way the route concepts work, it could be any guy at any moment. It's for Drew to find that guy dictating off the coverage, any play.
I'll tell you what, even that first touchdown that Trey Wallace caught, I mean, it was just like Madden NCAA scissors.
Yep.
But uniquely, I've seen this trend previously. It's came into college football since I left. But really what they're doing now is they're actually running that corner route over the top, whereas traditionally it was the post and the corner route came underneath.
Right.
Vice versa. Like big post, take the top off, any type of two-high coverage. But by allowing that corner to go first and then you run that post underneath it, almost more of like a skinny or like a bang eight type post, 6-7 step post, you actually can still fit that ball into quarters because the first presence is some type of corner route from number 2. So really that safety is going to get a little more depth. And that's kind of what happened. And that's just a little intricacy that you maybe overlook as a fan. But that little intricacy created slightly different ball placement and throw, and also slightly different timing and attacking almost a different space within the void and within the zone there. And I just think those little things are really creative. Even the I don't want to get super nerdy, but there's a lot that he did. I'm super excited to see now how he continues to develop. And I think you don't let off the gas and go vanilla against these guys like Kent State and Bowling Green. I think you almost press the needle a little bit more. How creative can we get? What else can we show?
Right.
The Ohio States and the USCs of the world what we're doing that they have to prepare for, and now they're spending a bunch of time doing that, and then maybe you're really going to hone in on a few other, a small portion. So, as you and I know, that's kind of the chess matching cat and mouse game of coaching.
And building confidence for your young or for your QB. Let me stop calling him young. For your QB too, fitting those balls in those windows. I want a quick question on the on that first touchdown to Wallace. How much? Obviously, you're a former 5-star, been the head guy at Penn State. For someone, maybe I'm still, training wheels on the kid. Are you giving a lot of kudos for the throw? I thought it was good anticipation. I said
it was phenomenal.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just wondering, I've seen different takes on air where it's like, no, I expect it from this kid. That should be a given. I'm not going to give him too much kudos on, the 3-step fitting in there.
No,
I think it was great anticipation because I didn't see that last year.
No, we didn't see it last year, and it's a great throw. That's the thing is you can't put. I expect him to do those things, but I'm not going to say it wasn't a great throw because there's a lot of guys that are starting in college football right now that can't make that throw.
Right.
So it's a fantastic throw. You have the talent to do it. I expect you to do those things. Good. You know what I mean? Plus, that's a check plus on the grade sheet when he puts it down tomorrow morning before practice. But I don't want to take away from it. I guess I want to go back to that though. Did the receivers prove enough for you to be confident?
I'm confident. I said it. I'm confident in them. I won't say they truly did this game. They made big plays. They made explosives. It kind of goes to what I was just asking you. Is like I expect Trey Wallace to make that play off that bang 8 and take a 50 when there's no really anyone stopping him. I think the true test is going to come against these man teams, the Michigans, Maryland, Rutgers. These teams are going to line up and challenge you one-on-one man coverage the majority of the game and making those plays on the outside. Now, Trey Wallace, yes, I think he already was kind of proven, battled injury last year. He made some plays on the outside against one-on-one coverage. Obviously, the touchdown play. Can these other guys do it? Evans made the deep play, but on a maybe more simpler routes, not just a go ball. Can you break a slant across a guy's face, one-on-one, 3rd and 3, over the middle, get hit, low ball? You know how it goes.
Yeah,
those are going to be the plays, those are going to be the plays where it's like, okay, these guys are ready for, the Ohio State's on the schedule, the USC's on the schedule, where these DBs are going to get up in your face and challenge you one-on-one, down in and down out. But it was none of this to say, not taking anything away from great game. They made the plays that were there for them. And once again, maybe with this offensive scheme, space will be created for them. I don't know. But definitely bodes well against a great opponent, West Virginia.
I think I'll say this. I like their confidence. I just think I thought they had an aura of confidence they hadn't had in quite some time this week. And I think that's, as you know, you said it last year to kick this whole damn thing off. Confidence can do some crazy things. And I think they definitely carried a level of swagger and confidence throughout the game that needs to continue to be built upon throughout the rest of the year.
Like you said, stay on the gas throughout these next opponents. I don't care who it is. Stay on the gas. Get these guys confidence, winning across the middle, one-on-one coverage on the outside, going up for balls, challenging. I think, like you said, stay on the gas. Yeah.
Now, Drew, what'd you like? Did you notice a difference?
Yeah, I think, obviously outside of everything we said, it seems more confident. Although, once again, in a new system, first year, same as last year, seem more confident in every throw, and then I know it's a big hoopla, hooray about his legs, which as it should be. He looks a little slimmer, body's maturing a little bit. Strength staff, Losi, those guys, I'm sure got him right. Looks a little slimmer. Could he still be a little bit more lighter on his feet? I'm sure, but he made the plays when they needed him. I think that was the biggest thing. It wasn't about the type of runs. It was the moments where he ran. He noticed the coverage, middle field's empty, 2 high safeties. Okay, I should have space. Let's go find it. And he's able to find it and get the first down. What was it, 2-3 times he did that. And then the design run with the stiff arm, takes a lot of guts too. I'm not sure if it's great that he's able to do that, but I'm not sure if I'm loving those play calls on the big downs. I don't know. But if that's the case, shoot, for some of these hurry up zone reads, he's going to have to keep like 2 this year. That could be monumental plays. And if they're going to run him like that, his legs seem a little more lighter than last season. I'd like to see that, but I think it's just overall confidence, which, our guy Kabinda tweeted out there, saw his nuts drop a little bit. And I think that is the difference. As you said, the game was identical, but I think last year, the big plays he made against West Virginia, once again, it was just like the first time experiencing that. The first time, okay, I'm going to let it rip to Lambert Smith, deep downfield. Now it's like, okay, I know how to do that. I know what to look for in those plays. And I know when to let it rip, and I know when to tuck it and run. Now, just first game of the year. But that's the noticeable difference. Slightly more confident. We've heard it all off-season. Leadership. It looks like it's paying off, but we'll sit back and continue to observe.
Yeah, I'll say this. I think right before halftime, that drive where he did give Amari Evans a chance, and then he threw that great ball to Trey Wallace on the back shoulder fade to finish it off, 23 seconds, whatever it was, to go down and score, was not only a maturation of Drew, but I think also a maturation of Coach and his aggressiveness and trust in Coach Koltenecki, because I might be going on a limb here, but 10 times out of 10, the last 2 or 3 years, they're handing that off and getting into halftime.
No question.
Yeah, but the aggressiveness there and then Drew's ability to execute was really unique because on the grander scheme of things, you're getting the ball coming out of half and you got the chance to double up.
Double whammy.
Which is big. And you put a team who we'll get to our defense in a second, but had to grind almost every single one of their yards out. In a position now where they're going to be down 3 scores into the third quarter. It's a tough mountain to climb. And I just thought that aggressiveness from Coach Franklin all the way down, the way Drew handled it and ultimately executed. And then I think you mentioned something about using his legs, but I think he also did it. And I think those are perfect examples with his arm as well. Just the thing that I talked about, timely plays. I think a couple of those runs don't happen last year. And then who knows, maybe West Virginia does get hot and it starts getting to be one of those slugfests that we didn't want it to be. We look really, really dominating. I don't think Drew allowed that to happen, which I think is a huge step forward for him in the sense of when he had a chance to make plays that people were like, oh, that's a great play. Right. But guys like you and me are like, no, like that was the play of the game because he kept the momentum. He kept the drive alive that ultimately ended up in Nick ripping off a 40-yarder to go up, big. Like those subtle, timely plays that I think you saw the rest of the team react to was what we talked about all offseason, for me at least, of what I wanted to see out of Drew. And I saw it. Now, can he keep doing it? Can he continue to do it against the biggest, baddest, and best? That's going to be the next test, right? Yeah. But I think, to your point, the environment, the expectations, the narrative, all the noise going into this, I thought he showed massive improvement and several steps forward in terms of being the all-encompassing leader of this program. So I was fired up for him, man. Kudos to 1-5, dude. I was proud watching it.
We talked about it, opening up with some of the other schools around the country, and that seems to be the difference of the teams that look to impress opening week is like they have a leader at QB that makes the plays when they need them. And it looks different no matter what school it is. But when it comes down to, like you said, when it's nut cutting time against the big boys of whatever school, whose guy can make it happen, no matter what that looks like. And, opening week, so far, our guy Drew looks like one of those guys that can do that. Miami has a guy, obviously seems like USC, we talked about Miller Moss. And that was a big difference in that game, which was it Grumeyer? Am I saying his name right?
Nussmeier,
excuse me. I liked him a lot throughout the game too, but at the end, who made the plays to win the game? Miller Moss did. And that's football. So what have you done for me lately? You were great all game, kid, but last 2 drives, whatever it was, this kid outshined you and he got his team their victory. And so that's what we're looking for from our guy. And week 1 against another pretty good QB, obviously I think he's still going to have a great year. And Green for West Virginia, he won that battle, a.k.a. we won that battle as a team. So bodes well for sure. Sure. But we're going to keep the brakes pumped because, as you stated, eerily identical.
And I'll say this, though. The defense was phenomenal. And Garrett Green, like I said, it was going to rest solely on his shoulders to win or lose this football game for them. And I think we were just too suffocating. We took his legs out of it. Yeah. And he had to earn everything through the air. Quickly, I'll highlight my takeaways, and I'll let you dive into it because I want you to elaborate on this. I think our defense is fast as fuck. Yeah. I mean, like scary, scary fast. Yeah. Which is obviously always great to have. I thought they also brought a physical component that was phenomenal. A little bit sloppy with tackling at times, I thought, but as you know, you mentioned it too, you're thudding up all training camp, trying to keep guys healthy. It takes you a couple games to really get into that. Tony had a chance early in the game there.
That's the one.
Where it kind of got around him because he just shouldered into him.
See, like the linebacker, defensive guy in me, I can't get over those plays. And our guys played lights out. I won't say lights out, but they played great, as you're saying. Yeah. But, like, I don't know if it's the little bit of coach in me. It's like I'm harping on those plays because that's the difference from, you know, being great and being elite, you know. Yeah. Against good teams, great quarterback, as you said, that one play, fourth down, that's the difference from getting them off the field, getting our offense back on, and shoot, maybe we go up larger in the first quarter or first half, whenever that was. But these guys, as you said, fast as hell. And that's
my last point, B. I want to throw this in there.
No, finish, please.
I think our DBs are for real. I thought Coach put them in situations, man-to-man coverage, and when I say this, a lot of those big – there was a couple when we kind of got into some fiery zone type stuff where you got guys that were free run and, you know, up the seam and whatever. Cool. Take your lumps. But the vast majority of that game, even the completions Garrett got in an explosive fashion, 10, 15, 20 yards down the field, there were guys – draped all over those receivers, and he had to put it through a gnat's ass, and he did a couple times.
Yeah, but great catches too.
Great catches, but our DBs are really, really good, and West Virginia wasn't. You know, they had some guys 6'4", 6'5". Our guys aren't necessarily the biggest. You know, our safeties are, but Cam is. But you know, we don't have 6'3".
Right, freaks.
You know. Scratch your ankle standing up, long, can run guys out there. We got some guys who are just scrappy as hell, technically sound. Coach Smith, T. Smalls, and they were asked to do a lot from a man-to-man cover standpoint. I thought they looked really good, and I had that as one of my post-game notes. DBs are for real and deep. We got
deep as hell. I mean, I think there's a good 6 deep they can rotate, and we saw a lot of those guys out there. And as you said, not all the plays were made, but man, making a tough throw and catch, and that's all you can ask for, because 9 times out of 10, college QB is not going to complete percentage of those. There's going to be some tip balls, there's going to be some pop-ups, you know, which bodes well for our defense. And I think you hit the nail on the head. What I was going to kind of come at it was, I think our guys are so good, I would love to transition into one of those Michigan, Ohio State, just, hey, beat our guys. You know, we're going to stack the box, isolate our guys. And I'm a fan of fire zones, and I think you still should, you know, get freaky with it, safeties blitzing, you know, manipulating a 5-man rush or 6-man. But I think, as we saw, those were the explosive plays happen the most. You know, a good enough quarterback's going to know where to go with the ball and find the holes in the zone. Because, you know, I'm not sure if they're matching zone a lot of time, but it's hard. You know, in fire zone, there's going to be gaps. And I think, you know, Green, as good as he was, he found his guys in those moments, as long as you stay calm in the pocket. But, I mean, we got the guys on the edge to make plays with or without the blitz, per se. So, and then the speed, as you said, suffocating. Once we got them, as you said, once we kind of hit that dagger coming out of the third quarter, long run, then our guys can really pin their ears back and, you know, get after the quarterback. That's my only kind of issue, is that our speed is so, you know, fast. We get up the field so quick. And it's eerily similar to last season. You know, that's where the interior lanes kind of develop. But I still think it's a great problem to have, Something to easily clean up. As you said, the tackling. I think that's a difference from maybe 6 points in that game, which, you know, as a stingy defensive minded guys, I don't want them getting anything, you know. So easily correctable mistakes our guys will be coached up on. And once again, I think the maturity of this squad, I think they will make those, you know, adjustments, slight tweaks, you know, tighten up things in that manner. And it's going to be tough, man. I fully expect another top 5, top 3 defense this year.
Yeah. I think number 1 overall and is very achievable and potentially very dominating across the board, statistically at least.
Was that 3 turnovers? 2 fumbles and a pick, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, 2 fumbles and a pick, and then my guy KJ Winston also forced another fumble that
he did.
That was a hell of a play.
Yeah, you got lucky on that one.
He showed up big. I mean, I think he led the team in tackles, and Jay Reed also showed up.
Yeah, he was lights
early. Out. He was flying.
Yeah, I saw a clip Franklin saying he was moving at a different speed, and he really was. Yeah. He really was.
Yeah,
that's that first game of the year. Body's feeling good. Great camp, senior. He probably didn't get too roughed up in camp this year. Body's feeling good, and I love it. I hope he keeps that up for sure.
Now Abdul, kind of quiet on the stat sheet at least,
right.
But I beg to differ. If you watch the game, they had 2 to 3 hats on him at all times, whether it was back, tight end, tackle guard, tackle, tight end. They had plenty of hats dedicated to him. And I thought he didn't let that affect him, which was awesome. Sure. He just kept he kept his head down, stayed disciplined, did what he needed to do. Because it's very easy.
Get your head out of it.
In my eyes, it's also very easy as a guy who played at that second level who could still really not – you're getting a lot of one-on-one matchups when you're rushing, to kind of get impatient. And then maybe that impatience leads to a little bit of lackadaisicalness with, hey, I'm just going to take this play off. Like I didn't see a lick.
Yeah, he didn't let up.
And I think that's going to be really important for the rest of that D-line. As you mentioned, Danny Dennis-Sutton, several other guys showed up. Devon Elise showed up for us. Shout out to the Lions Den. What do you make of Abdul's
Thomas now, I believe.
change? I'm sorry?
Changed his last name. No more Elise.
That's right. Got me. Yeah, Devon Thomas. Correct.
Respect that guy. I got you. Was it Poppy Devon?
Yeah, that's good. But Devon, I'll just go with Devon. But Abdul, talk about that transition. Talk about what you saw with him. What impressed you with that?
Yeah, as you said, it definitely can be frustrating. I mean, coming from a stack backer, a little bit easier to get to the ball every play, down in, down out, or at least be a part of the play, on the ball, tackles and whatnot. But as you said, I think the most impressive thing was that motor. I think that bodes well. You don't often see that from guys as athletic as he is. I mean, you hit the nail right on the head. A lot of guys, there'll be some plays that take off, on the backside and whatnot, and when the scouts get to looking, it's like, hey, you're too good to be doing this.
Yeah.
But I did not see that. He did not let up on those tackles. I mean, he was going full tilt every single play, and you saw it just wreaking havoc. I mean, You're not always going to make the play, but sometimes you make it for your guy next to you and make it easier for your guy next to you. And I think it's just going to bode well throughout the season because that's how it goes. You keep chipping at the wood, keep chomping at the wood. And then in the fourth quarter, and the biggest moment is when you cash out. Maybe he didn't cash out all game. And we saw it. He was getting close all game. And they had an athletic quarterback who was savvy and could manipulate the pocket. So it was a little bit tougher, but it's going to bode well this season. And for him, keep that motor going. And it shows well for the team. I mean, when your most talented guy is going that hard, play in and play out, it means something different. And I think the guys fed off of that, As you said, fast as hell to the ball. So it's a party at the ball. I would like to explain it. Whoever gets there first gets to reap the benefits. But it's a challenge every play because everyone's moving.
No doubt. Well, with that, B, let's get to our Z-Bart defensive play of the week. And for those of you who don't know, Z-Bart is a sponsor of the State Media channels. They offer premium automotive appearance and protection services to extend the life of your vehicle. Clean, disinfect, enhance, and defend your highest quality products and services, exceptional workmanship, and knowledgeable staff. We want to thank Z-Bart for supporting the show. This is our Z-Bart defensive play of the game for West Virginia. Z-Bart, your vehicle's best defense. And Brandon, I think it's only right
Yeah.
Me, give it to a lot of guys. I think the first half, the first quarter was a lot of just, like you said, Jay Reed, juice. Yeah. People are flying around, shit's going everywhere, balls on the ground, sloppy. So I really wanted to take this to when I thought it meant something.
Yeah.
And you come out, we doubled up. Then West Virginia goes down there, they score, we answer, but West Virginia feels like they're still kind of in it there in the early fourth quarter. And our guy Smith Vilbert, who is the guest on the Lions Den this week. So tune in if you haven't been. Tune in, check it out. He's got a hell of a story, battling injuries his whole career, wanting to make an impact. Comes up big, and then your guy, Danny Dennis Sutton, with the scoop. I thought, to me, that play kind of shut the door, said, okay, this thing's over. You can keep swinging, but this thing's over. We did what we did on offense, and we ended up having a pick later. But I thought that set the tone, like, this thing's over.
Officially shut. Double dagger, I kind of like to call it. Yeah. You know, the long touchdown run was the first dagger, and then our guy Smith Vilbert came in with the double dagger to really, finish him off. But a sweet move, man. I think, like you said, it means something. This kid, my Haitian brother, has been with the squad for a while, battled injuries, medical red-shirted. He's got he's played. He's seen, prime game time, war zone time. And I think when you have like your two guy coming in with edge rush moves like that, I think once again
as a matter of fact, let's look at it, B.
Yeah, please. This is beautiful. It's a beautiful sight.
Let's look at this puppy. It was a little dead leg, I think. He had a little
hezzy.
This is fantastic. He gets little dead leg, scoops around him.
It's that chop.
Yeah.
From the screen, I thought it was a cross chop, but it was the same side chop. When he goes up in the air, it throws him off, but it comes down.
Yeah. And then our guy Dion, really working that. That's as a quarterback, Garrett does a good job of kind of pumping that thing and then trying to get it back into his body, but being able to kind of reach around and locate it, swat that thing out.
I think they said it, 6'6" kid, long wingspan. I mean, that's the beauty and benefit of length on the football field. Doesn't get quite his body, but long enough arms to get that ball out. It's a sack's a sack, strip sack's a sack. And as you said, our guy, Denies Sutton, soft hands, picked it up. I thought he would have got a little more yak on that, but as you said, man, that was coffin closed. You guys have no shot. Take the starters out. This is wrapped up. This is wrapped up.
Yeah, and just another point of just our relentless pursuit to the football. Even Danny getting over there, circling the whole wagon, and at that point in time, still big lead, whatever, was able to follow that up and get on that ball.
Yeah, it's not a turnover if you don't recover the ball, man.
He definitely picked that puppy up and had no idea what to do.
I mean, I'll give him credit. It's hard. You pick it up facing the opposite direction. You're a big fella, getting emotion going back the other way. I'll give him credit. Yeah, he scooped it. That's the first part. Fumble recovery in his stat book. And he got some yards, so that's some yards.
He was high and tight. With
it was.
He even had the other arm over it.
These guys are coached up well. I love it.
Yeah, it's so good. So again, folks, that was your Z-Bart defensive play of the game. Make sure you check Z-Bart out for any of your automotive needs. Clean.
Smith Vilbert, baby.
The whole nine. Smith Vilbert, week one.
That's true. I'll say, too, I mean, I'm not sure what the rotation is looking like, but that kid, if he keeps that up, I'm sure he's been working at practice, deserves more snaps. Maybe we get a little NASCAR package. I mean, get our guy Sticks rushing over the middle, over centers that we saw Micah do a little bit. It can get freaky out there on the defensive line. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think those things are going to come. They, similar to how Andy said, I got a war chest.
Yeah.
A war chest as well. So to kind of wrap this up, man, we got coming back home, Bowling Green, like we talked about. one of those things. Bowling Green and then a bye week.
Early bye.
And then Kent State. We got 2 bye weeks this year, which is strange to me.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
I would have killed for 2 bye weeks.
I know for a fact one of these bye weeks they're not letting these guys out of their sight. Maybe it's the later one, or maybe the first one. I don't know.
This first one, the later one, they got to hey, go do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But Bowling Green, man, I would be remiss to not give us a chance to talk about expectations for this one. What do you got? Again, I think this kind of goes back to that first point of eerily similar to how last year started. What do you got?
I think just a cleaner operation. I won't put a point, limit or, threshold on the game. Just a cleaner operation offensively. Pre-snap penalties. What can we control? And defense pre-snap penalties. We had way too many of those guys lining up off sides. And really just giving the opposing team more opportunities than they deserve is what I'm looking to clean up. We're making these guys fight for every yard. Let's not give them anything. And then you'll find yourself the top of the country, I believe, once again, top 3 defense, gunning for number 1. And as you said, offensively, keeping on the gas, man. Give this quarterback more confidence, give these guys on the outside more confidence, the O-line, moving guys around, and then let these running backs who, as we said, have the juice, feeling good, keep that going. No need for anything to stop. Special teams, let's get one on special teams. We saw that with our guy Daquan Hardy last year against UMass. 2 of them things. I want to see Sanders get a little busy back there. Let's not forget about special teams. Kicking operation, everything. Just clean operation is what I'm looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll say I think I want these starters to perform how we would have liked them to perform in the spring game in terms of being clean, crisp. Get up out of there early, man, because I think I really want to – I personally want to see receiver 3, receiver 4, and 5 get some burn. Okay, figure it out, but get up out of there early, shut the door early, be decisive with it, clean, mistake-free, defense suffocating. I kind of want to just be like hanging out I'm going to be up there. I want to be just kind of like hanging out on the sideline by the third quarter, figuring out who I'm going to go talk to. I don't want to be paying too much attention.
Right. Shoot, man. On that note, I mean, not to get away from Bowling Green, but let's talk about you for a second. Pre-game on the radio, is it with our guy Triplet? That's great deal, brother.
Pre-game show. Jason and I will be up on the north end zone.
Okay. So you guys are on the field?
No. We're going to be in the north end zone, top of the concourse, like between the 2 decks, I guess you would say, opposite of the tunnel.
Okay.
In case my directions got messed up, I don't think they did, but. We'll be up there 2.5 hours before kick for an hour, and then we kick it over to Steve Jones and Jack Ham, the legends of Penn State football coverage. And then Jason and I also hop on an hour after the game, after Jack and Steve finish up their post-game show for a little 30-minute radio.
Nice.
But, we're –
love to see it.
We're getting more involved, talking more Penn State ball, and it feels good. We got a good little run last week. Got to watch the game from the Letterman Lounge. Jason and I. He took a little snooze during the rain delay. I had to spin around and get back to the shore to my wife and son, so I ended up getting in about 12:30, 1 o'clock. Long weekend.
Yeah.
So looking forward to some Z's here. Early in the week to catch up because we're just going to keep rinsing and repeating. We got state media, we got Go PSU TV coming in.
Ooh.
We're going to have a lot more coming at you, but I appreciate you bringing that up, B.
Oh, man. Big things. Our guy, Christian, media mogul in the making. Come on now.
I'm just trying to be the Kirk Herbstreit of Penn State. That's all. I don't want to be anything more.
That's not a bad deal right there. You might have to battle AB for that one. I don't know. Unless he's
Now,
going.
AB has bigger ambitions.
Okay, that's what.
AB wants to replace Kirk Herbstreit.
Right. Actually,
Yeah.
watch your back, Kirk.
Yeah. No, I
That's
just want to stay at home, man.
Nah, man, that's a great job for you guys. Shout out to AB too, calling the game this weekend, man. He's on the grind, as we always see. And man, hey, anytime we talk Penn State ball, anytime I got my guys up there talking Penn State ball, I'm tuned in. It's a great deal. I know you guys love it. Same guys that love the pocket, man. It's still incredible. Honestly, a young man came up to me. I'm at Rita's, was it 2 weeks ago? And, recognized me. And it's not like, hey, B. Bell, football player. It's, hey, the pocket podcaster. And that tickles me a little more than just, the football recognition. I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. I love the pod, da-da-da. I'm like, oh, bet, man. We just, Hack and I just recorded again. We're back at it. So appreciate the love from you guys. And once again, look forward to bringing, some of the best content this upcoming season as well.
Yeah, we do. And with that, I will plug this as well. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, following on YouTube, hitting the reminders for wherever you get your podcasts for this. Like B said, we are back fully operational, stacking more and more days with this, and all the socials as well. You're going to see a bunch of content coming out, short form clips from this pod, the most impactful moments that we bring up, most controversial conversations. Probably going to have a few about my prediction that Texas will go up there and whoop Michigan's ass in their own house. But that's neither here nor there. And again, probably a little biased there. But with that, B, we will be back next week following Bowling Green, heading into a bye. So appreciate it. Make sure you take care of that little girl tonight. And we appreciate all you guys listening.